Hey, my name is Brian. I'm a VHS collector from upstate New York, and you might know me from my Instagram. It's xVHSX. I also play in a hardcore punk band called Entropy, which probably even less people know me from, if anyone even knows who I am at all. So I started collecting tapes when I was 7 years old. I always really liked movies. My dad used to show me movies when I was very young. He started me with silent films, Nosferatu, Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Also showed me, Dracula, Frankenstein, a lot of the 50s big bug movies. But I didn't actually start buying tapes till I was like 7 years old. And I started buying tapes because I was collecting Hot Wheel cars, and my dad was just kind of like, you're always buying Hot Wheel cars. Why don't you buy something different this week? Something like a movie or a CD or something like that. And I went out and I bought a movie at the mall instead of Hot Wheel cars for the first time, and I really haven't stopped buying VHS since then, I guess, which kind of sounds like a lie, but I assure you it isn't. I've spent a lot of money on VHS, so much that I'm probably ashamed of it. But yeah, I've been buying VHS for a very long time. I like collecting tapes just because it's nostalgic for me, but it's also, I just love the VHS covers. I love the big boxes, I love the slip cases, I love all the weird movies that came out that are not available on DVD or Blu-ray. I still buy DVD and Blu-ray, but I mostly only watch VHS tapes. I only buy the Blues and the DVDs for watching the audio commentary because I'm really into how the movies are made, especially when there's a more obscure film, something like, John Russo's Midnight or The Abomination. Just hearing the stories behind how these movies got made on such a limited budget and then got released in the movie theater or straight to video, it's appealing to me. There's also just so many movies that were not released on DVD or Blu-ray that are solely on VHS that you really are not going to have a chance to see otherwise. And I think anyone who's really into film would really benefit from just, possibly collecting VHS tapes just to kind of see what's out there. So roughly in my collection, I have about 2,000 tapes. Half of them are here in my apartment, the other half are in a storage unit. And what I have them in the storage unit is because I was going to get rid of them and I was going to sell them. There used to be this VHS swap over in Pennsylvania called Severed that I went to a couple times, and the last year that they had it, I actually sold tapes and I made a pretty decent amount of money, and I just blew all that money on other tapes that I wanted. So it was kind of nice because I got rid of 500 tapes, and then I came home with probably 20 to 30 really nice tapes that I had been searching for a long time. Yeah, I spent a lot of money on them, but I don't really buy for the rareness of them. I buy because I just kind of like them. So yeah, I have about 2,000 tapes in my collection, and I'm sure I'm gonna have more over the next couple of years, I guess. I have a couple of them that I really like, and I actually have them down here. One of them is this one, Toxic Zombies, which is one of my favorite movies. It was actually filmed, I think, in upstate New York, and the director's name was Charles McCran. Interesting thing about Charles McCran is that he actually worked in the World Trade Center and he died on 9/11, which is pretty crazy. Only film he's made. It has John Amplas from George Romero's Martin, which is pretty cool. I heard that he hates it, but yeah, that's the back. That's the front. You see all the pot leaves because they spray the hippies pot with some sort of chemical that turns them into zombies. Another tape that I really like, Slithis. This movie is fucking awesome. Man in a rubber suit, made from, pollution and all that shit. He goes around actually slicing and killing all these people. He kills people on a boat. He kills this older couple in their house. It doesn't have a lot of gore. It's actually PG, but it does have some that'll kind of make people happy. It's just a fun rubber monster movie that I really like, that I always kind of wanted to see. And I actually got this tape off eBay maybe 10 years ago. I first saw anything about Slithis in my dad's book, Psychotronic Encyclopedia of Film, which is a great book if you don't have it. I would highly recommend getting that one and the second one. You just learn about so much stuff in those books that it really could do you a lot of good having a book like that. Another VHS I have that I actually saw in Psychotronic Encyclopedia of Film is The Child. The reason why I really like this tape is because I just love that movie poster. Just the whole thing with like the little girl standing behind the graveyard gates with the glowing eyes. And it's also just like a fun movie, you know? It's just like very enjoyable to watch, which I'm gonna say about a lot of these movies because I like them. Plowing ahead, another tape that I really like, Minor Threat, live at the 930 Club. This band changed my life, and this tape is awesome. Don't want it to fall out. It actually comes with this cool booklet, which has like pictures and like a write-up and everything. It has all the lyrics and stuff inside, which is kind of cool. But I first heard Minor Threat in 7th grade, and what happened was I was really into Sublime and ska and pop punk and all that. You know, Blink-182, Goldfinger, Real Big Fish, all that stuff that was on the radio. Sublime actually did a Minor Threat cover, and I immediately went on Napster and downloaded a whole bunch of Minor Threat songs. I had never heard anything like that. It just like kind of hit me like a bag of bricks to the face. Like I was like, holy shit, this is like mind-blowing. I learned about straight edge. I learned about, you know, being anti-racist. And it was just like such a powerful thing that like hit me at such a young age that it literally changed my life forever. I'm still straight edge to this day. I'm 35 years old. I have a lot of tapes that people call rare. I don't really go around buying tapes that are rare as much as just buying tapes that I think is kind of interesting. But some of my rarest tapes, and this actually plays into another question, some of my rarest tapes, I've got Attack of the Killer Refrigerator, and I got both cover variants of Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. Other rare tapes I have is like Toxic Zombies, The Child's pretty rare. Also, I have Attack of the Beast Creatures, which is an awesome movie that was actually filmed in Connecticut, which if you get a chance, definitely look for that one because that one's a lot of fun as well. I don't really have a lot of Grail tapes. Like I said before, I just kind of go around buying whatever interests me. I know some collectors have like a list of tapes that they want. I was never into that. I never did that. I just buy tapes that I think look cool and I want to own. I guess if I was to say I had a Grail tape, it would be like The Abomination. It would be, you know, anything on the Don and Michelle label, because this is really the only tape that I have. I would love to own all of them. Unfortunately, I do not have $200 to throw away on tapes. I don't really think I would say that I'm in need of any tapes because I have so many tapes, it's kind of ridiculous. I guess there's more tapes that I need. Like I said before, I kind of buy based on, you know, what I think looks interesting to me. If I'm at a flea market, yard sale, if I'm on eBay, if I'm in one of the Facebook groups or Reddit, and I see something that interests me, I'm gonna buy it if I have the money. So I'm not really looking for, you know, that one specific tape. You know, I'm not really looking for a group of tapes that I really want besides maybe the Don and Michelle tapes I mentioned earlier. My favorite part of the VHS community is definitely meeting new collectors from all over the world. There's a lot of tapes that I probably wouldn't have been able to get my hands on if it wasn't for, you know, Facebook marketplace groups, people on Reddit, people that I met in person. A lot of these tapes you're just not going to find in your area. It all depends on where the distributor was, if there were any video stores around you that had them, if people didn't all buy them up, if no one's getting rid of them. I would think that a market like New York City would probably be a lot harder to find, you know, better tapes in than upstate New York, where there's like all these like grungy ass flea markets where people are literally selling like rat caked shit that no one's going to buy. Actually, the coolest thing that I found in the wild very recently is this tape. We're talking vulva, and what it is it's a 5-minute long rap video about vaginas, and it was made by Shauna Dempsey and Tracy Traeger, if I'm pronouncing those names right, and they're from Canada, and they're very active in the LGBTQ community, and they make these kind of like short films from what I was told, and this was the first one that they made in 1989. It was a lot of fun. I didn't know what I was getting into buying it. I didn't know if it was like some school educational tape on sexual reproduction or something. I kind of figured it wasn't, judging by, you know, the name on the bottom. This was an awesome find. I was really, kind of stoked when I saw this. So if you haven't been able to see what I collect based on what I've been showing you, I mostly collect horror movies. I think horror movies are the coolest, even just based on special effects alone. You could get a really boring horror movie, but as long as there's some sort of like special effect in it or something like that, you're going to, kind of see how people do it, especially with a low budget, whether it's a man in a rubber suit, claymation, or even just like insinuated that there's a monster. Like I have a movie where the monster's literally a red light that they shine on people and they die from it. And it's not a 1950s movie. It's a movie that was made in like the mid 70s, like well after The Exorcist. But it's just interesting to me in horror movies how you can, kind of see the creativity that went in to making a lot of these low budget movies that didn't really have a lot of money in the first place to kind of showcase all these different, amazing special effects like a big budget movie. One tape that I wanted to show that's kind of like a perfect example of this, I'm not sure what the budget was, but it kind of like, saves a lot for the end, is The Slayer. It kind of opens up with this scene and then it closes with like a shot of the monster, which I won't show you if you haven't seen it. Very fun movie. It kind of resembles Nightmare on Elm Street before Nightmare on Elm Street was made. A lot of people make the connection to that. I guess I could kind of see it. It has a lot to do with like the girl and her dreams are coming real, like things that she dreams about, things that she painted kind of come to life, I guess. So this is a great movie. I know that Arrow DVD released it, and I also know that it's for free on YouTube. So if you want, check it out. If not, you don't have to, I guess. What do I know? I haven't done a lot of trades. I guess I don't really trust people, and that's my own, problem that I guess I gotta work through. But basically, when I first joined the Facebook groups in 2011, 2012, I got ripped off for $165 from someone who will remain nameless, who's not in the groups anymore. But basically, I was friends with this person and he was giving me all these like great tapes that were kind of like high profile tapes at the time for like $165, and he was just clearing out all of his tapes. He would talk to me, everyone else online shunned him, and they were like fuck this dude, we're not going to give him any more money, he's not allowed in the groups anymore. But I stayed friends with him, and he would like message me and be like, I promise you, your tapes are coming, I'm not just screwing everyone over, fuck all of them, I'm going to make you an awesome box of tapes and I'm going to send them to you just because you're being so cool. And then one day he just like disappeared off my friends list on Facebook, and I didn't hear from him again. And I learned my lesson, not to trust people unless you kind of know them in person, I guess. So yeah, there hasn't been a lot of trades I've done. I think I've done one trade and I got some Betamax tapes that I really needed, but I'm not really into the whole trading thing. It doesn't do it for me. I wish I could answer that, but if none of you know, when this video comes out, I'm actually filming it a couple days after Christmas, and as you would know, all the packages are kind of like in limbo in the post office system somewhere. So I have a ton of tapes that I ordered since November. Oh, I got a tape. I know a tape. I completely forgot about this tape. I actually went to Value Village and I found this. 90s, late 90s, early 2000s not shot on video, but like straight to video stuff. The tape's broken, the top comes off. So I'm gonna swap out the shell, maybe do something cool with it. There's no mold on it, so that's a plus. I guess this is technically the newest tape I got. Of course I still own the first tape I ever owned. I almost got rid of it, but I didn't. And actually, I remember the day I bought that tape. It was when my dad told me to go buy a VHS tape instead of Hot Wheel cars. He probably told me that because he didn't want to spend a whole shitload of time in the toy store, looking at Hot Wheel car after Hot Wheel car, trying to decide which one to get. So I went into the movie store, Suncoast at the time, which was right across from the toy store. If you're younger and you weren't able to experience a video store, you would go in and they'd have this very specific smell, just kind of like the plastic, the cardboard boxes that they were in. And you know, you would go, there'd be like comedy section over here, horror section over here, science fiction, and you know, action, drama, special editions with like letterbox and all that shit. They'd have like a small little Laserdisc section. There was also a section which I got a lot of tapes from when I was very much younger, because I didn't have a lot of money. It was the budget section or the discount section or the value section or maybe the bargain bin. And you would get these tapes for like, Media Play was selling tapes for like $4.99, and then they would put them in a 50% off bin. I got Toxic Avenger, I got Slugs, I got Star Crystal, I got The Stuff. I got so much good stuff just from like going to these bargain, you know, areas of these stores with my $10 allowance for the week and picking up just like utter crap. Just like movies with like half-naked women on them and people with like getting their heads blown apart. And my parents did not care about what I bought. They would just be like, oh, whatever, R-rated movie, fine. You know, you could watch that. But yeah, I guess I kind of thank them because it led me, you know, to here, to just meeting all these like awesome people in this community and finding out that there's more people like me who also collect tapes and like watching them and, you know, collect the VHS covers for the same reasons that I do. And I think that that's really cool. Thank you for watching. I am very happy that I got the chance to do this. I think that this is a super cool idea. I've seen so many other videos that have been posted on this channel. A lot of them I know from the VHS groups and on Facebook. And yeah, thank you for watching.